Welcome to The Good with Theresa G. Every season begins and ends here in Montana, but between those moments, who knows where we'll go? Together, we'll explore conversations that invite us to see ourselves, each other, and this beautiful human experience a little differently. We'll talk about healing, relationships, purpose, consciousness, and nature, and what it means to live a more connected life. Some conversations may challenge what we think we know. Others may remind us of something we've always known deep down. My hope is that each episode leaves us with something tangible, a new perspective, a seed of possibility, a spark of curiosity, or simply a reminder that there is goodness all around us if we're willing to look for it. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so now I want to talk about numbing and healing, because I do feel like women, and actually everyone, that we are living in a world where sometimes we are using numbing in some way to cope with our lives. And you've already talked about that with alcoholism. And like, why do you think, and do you think that more people are numbing today than ever before? Or do you think that this is just how humanity's been?
I think it's been for a while like that. Maybe since World War II, especially, when all the men came back and their families, and that was the silent generation. And then a lot of people and then people couldn't talk about their feelings, and it just became numbing. I don't know. I actually feel like more people are choosing to not numb nowadays. I see that a lot with that generation that my kids are in, is that they're choosing to be present more. Maybe because they saw their parents or family members, as we did too with our parents and family members, numb out, but they're choosing a different path, I feel like. And the more that we talk about what is actually going on, and there's so much power in what I've done as far as going through the experience of sobering up and what that really actually entails. And my family is doing it with me, or, alongside me, and they can see me doing it, and they can see the damage that numbing can cause.
Two questions.
Okay.
Well, first, what made you decide that you didn't want to be numb?
It's funny because I was using the drinking almost to connect with my spirit. To get out of this simulation that we're in, this reality, and get into something else that was different. So I didn't even recognize it as numbing for a long time. I just thought that was part of my identity, as who I am. Like I use it as to connect with people, to connect with that part of myself. And also, it was also kind of a time traveling device, because I would miss my brother and my friends. And
so is it grief? Was it?
Yeah.
So it helped you with your grief because it would help reawaken memories or connections?
Yeah, it would help reawaken memories, because I definitely blocked a lot of things out in the very beginning of my grief. Hold on. I'm trying to remember what I was talking about.
I did that the other day. Like, I was going to ask a question. I'm like, I don't know.
I think you were saying, Katie, I think what you were saying is that drinking gave you, it was a time machine in a way, because it put you in touch with your 19-year-old self.
Yes.
And brought her forward.
Right.
Over and over and over again, right?
Right.
Yeah. Isn't that the gist of what you were kind of...
Yeah. Well, and also so that I could perform.
Yeah.
It works until it doesn't. That's what they say in recovery rooms. I was doing it to perform, to be that expectation that I thought that the world had set for me, but really it was something that I had set for myself.
So I actually want to take a few steps back here because I think the grief component, I wanted to touch on the grief because we've all experienced grief, and you guys have experienced it very close to home. And I know that your mom and your brother are like literally here with us right now. Like, actually, when I texted them to do this, I was like, I am literally on top of a mountain because you know me, and I'm like, your mom and brother are like with me, right? I feel them so strong right now, and they just want, we have to do a podcast. So, and I felt them today. I'm sure I want to hear your story, but first of all, let's talk about Jason first. Such a beautiful soul, like one of the kindest souls.
I'll go first and then you can jump in. Jason, Katie and I, I'm going to do a little astrology here. Katie and I are both air signs, free-spirited, definitely called by the spirit, a little...
We're all air signs.
Oh, I thought you were a fire sign. You're a fire sign.
Oh, but I guess I'm not because I'm both because my rising is air.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you get that.
Or is it rising? I don't know. I just
one of
learned that
those.
last
Your
night.
mom would know.
Yeah, even though my mom doesn't believe in astrology now. We're all ever evolving. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry.
In this case, it kind of makes sense because Katie and I are just kind of free spirits, go with it, follow our hearts, airy. I would say this is true for us in different ways, actually. We're different manifestations of the breeze, flexible, adaptable, hard to nail down. And if I'm describing my brother, he's an earth sign. He was so grounding. And in the system of our family, and actually our other brother was also, it was a Taurus.
Yeah,
he was an earth sign too. But Jason was so grounding, and he just was. Like, Jason's the kind of guy, and I think his friends would say this too, that like if there was going to be a zombie apocalypse, Jason is who you would follow. Like he just instinctively, and he was a man of the earth, and he instinctively knew what to do, knew what to say, knew when to be quiet, knew when not to. Like he just had this knowing.
Yeah.
He just had this knowing. And in our system,
I always felt safe when he was around.
Yeah, he was a very safe person. He was a very safe person. He was very, and he tried to help people. But he was very sensitive too. Jason was very sensitive.
What was his sign?
He was a Capricorn.
Okay.
Yeah, December 30th. He was very, very sensitive. And was empathetic, and I think it scared him sometimes. But anyway, the system with us, and I'm the oldest child, so Katie has a different perspective than I do. But every family is a system. We all revolve around each other. We all create needs for each other, especially an immediate family, And Jason, Katie, and I were a system. We were a coping system for a long time because while I love my parents and I love my childhood, it wasn't always easy, and we did have trauma and we had difficult times. But Jason, Katie, and I we were each other's coping system.
Yeah.
And Jason was a centering force in that. He was a grounding force in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was, and I've thought about this since I was a kid too, but I never voiced it because we're Catholic, and to compare anybody to Jesus is like...
You don't do that.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
But Jason was always very Christ consciousness.
Yeah.
Very Christ consciousness. Very man of the earth. Like she said, very empathetic, but he had a storm of emotions that Jessica and I helped hold that frequency for him.
That makes sense.
He was capable on everything except when he was
It can
heartbroken.
regulate, yeah.
When he was heartbroken.
Yeah.
But he was one of the greatest men I've ever known in my life.
Yeah.
And he only lived 24 years, and what he accomplished in those 24 years and the lives that he touched. It's just incredible. I've never met anybody like him.
Yeah. Stories that we heard from his friends, and actually we knew while he was alive, it didn't just come to us after he had died. Like, Jason was the guy who would stand up to the bully, even though he wasn't the strongest, and he would go out of his way to include the kid who was cast out. He would defend the
He had
the
a
weaker
kindness.
person. He would always defend the weaker person. Yeah. And he would speak up for Katie and I. This is a thing when we lost him, that one of the things that melted down for me, even in my marriage and other places, is that Jason did a lot of my speaking for me. And he was 4 years younger than me, 3.5 years younger than me, but he would speak up for me.
Yeah.
He'd speak up to my parents. He spoke up to guys who weren't being nice to me. He'd speak up to girls who didn't speak nice to me. But Jason did that for me.
Well, and Jason was one of the first people, other than like my mom, who would be like, you know, you don't know what it's like to walk in that person's shoes. Jason was the first person. I think we were in middle school, and there was a girl that was, I don't know, it was some catty crap between us. And he says to me, you know, you don't know what she's going through.
Yeah.
And that was like the first time I'd really heard that. Not the first time I'd heard it, but, you know, from a peer or somebody that age, that caused me to consider, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I don't know what they're going through. So he was very empathetic.
Very kind.
And very,
Like, just one of those souls, when he's with you, you just feel like warmth, you know, like he's trying to meet you
yeah,
where you are in a kindness, in a very kind way.
and an accepting way. He was accepting of all people.
He really was. And he was rooted in the earth.
But
So-
and he was also black and white. He had a clear idea of what was
Right.
good and what was bad.
Which, I mean,
Yeah.
so then what happened? Can you tell us what happened so we can sort of...
Yeah, Jason took his own life when I was 28, Katie was 22. I found out the police came to my work and pulled me out of a meeting and told me, and I felt the earth drop out from beneath me. I think I threw up. I was screaming. I didn't think it was real. I didn't think my brother could do that. Yeah, and he took his own life, and it really shattered my whole understand. Like, there's like a before and after for me. It was like such a cut to my timeline and such a cut to who I am. Yeah. What happened for you?
Yeah, I was at work as well, and a cop and a bereavement specialist came into my work and asked to speak to me, and I was like, what does he want? I haven't done anything illegal.
Today.
Like, I'm a mom.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that's me. Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
right now.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
But they pulled me aside into the room and told me, and much like Jessica, the ground beneath me gave way, and I just immediately, I went into flight mode. I was like, I need to go get my son from daycare. That's what I'm doing. I'm leaving right now. I have to go. I went and got Liam, picked him up from daycare, and I got home, and as you guys know, as moms, you've packed your child's bag, you know, for daycare or for whatever, 100 million times, right? You know everything to put in there. You can do it blindfolded. I could not pack this bag. I could not pack the bag. I just And Liam was so clingy to me at that time. He was only a year and a half old.
And he also sensed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. And
Yeah.
so this quiet stillness came over him. And I can see through his eyes what I must have looked like, just like a caged animal, just pacing back and forth. And yeah, my whole life shattered. And thank God I had my son, because he helped me. And I had a puppy at the time too. So when Jason died, I had just gotten married at 21. Just bought my first house, the house we still live in today. I just got a puppy, and I had a baby. And then he exited my world. And for me, I was so angry with him. Because him and I we had a different relationship than you and him. Because we basically grew up together with the same friends, and kind of in almost like a twin thing. I can see it now with my son and daughter. That's how we were. That I was so mad at him that he could do that to us. Because he knew the stakes.
Well, so I do want to, because I belong to a death group, so you're going to hear some questions. And I know that I can ask you guys this because I know that you guys have done the work. But so, did Jason ever talk about suicide before that?
Yes.
Okay. Because that in the death group, there was someone there who was dealing with suicide. I think it was her sister. And she said that what she's learned is that there are some humans that they lean towards suicide. And we don't know why, but that's always an option. That's always an option in their brain. And then there's other people that it never occurs. And so they're trying to understand in a broader sense, like emotionally, spiritually, scientifically, all the ways, like there's a big difference there. So so that soul is like given this idea that you have an out at any time.
Right.
And it's actually there. And I don't think, and honestly, I am from a place of observation. Like that's interesting for me to think about that. Very interesting. So
two things, when you say that. So one is I always had the sense, even when Jason was little, that he wasn't going to be here forever. Like he was temporary. And it was a fear that would come up over me or like something like that. But I had a feeling, and I don't know how much of that was influenced because our other brother died at a young age, that I was just worried that it would happen to Jason. But I always had this feeling that Jason was temporary, and it actually did color a part of my relationship with him in that it was part of my closeness, and also I had fierce protectiveness over him.
You did.
Over his, and Katie too, honestly.
She's a big sis, through and through.
Yeah.
She's a mama bear.
Yeah, she is.
But I never felt that way about Katie, but I always felt that way about Jason, that he was not here always. And then the other thing I'll just mention, and Katie might want to say something about this too, but so our other brother, James, died in a car accident when he was 10 months old. My mom got pregnant.
The night of his funeral.
Yeah. It was probably the night of his funeral or very close.
Are you guys noticing like patterns here?
Yeah.
Like
When life's
with your
coming in
brother,
now?
yeah, within your family, like with your mom leaving, and then there's a pattern here.
Katie got pregnant when our grandma passed away too, with
The
twins.
grandma that had twins.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
and that's when you got pregnant with the twins.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There is something. But my mom got pregnant in the depths of that grief. So like if we and I'm understanding it much more now that I have a son, but I can't imagine anything happening to him. It would be the worst thing. And mom, that was she had lost her baby boy. He was 10 months old. And then became pregnant and then carried Jason. So she lost a son and gave birth to one in the same year.
And I mean,
She lost one in March and gave birth to one in December. And that was 1981. And I think there was something to that with Jason too.
Yeah.
And just him being in her through that grief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've thought about that a lot too. And I've come to pulling way out, like perspective wise. And coming to know that I think that we come here with certain points in our life. Like we plan things out. We're like, you're going to do this and I'm going to do that. And we'll see how it goes. You know what I mean?
Trying to learn something.
So I'm comforted by the fact that I know me and Jason and you, we all plan this out beforehand. For some big purpose because of how deep and cutting it was, like to alchemize that. And, it's taken me 20 years to really come full with it, and I'm still working on it. But I don't have that anger with him anymore,
Yeah.
because he played his part.
Yeah. And he played it spectacularly.
He did.
He did an amazing job.
And he loved us. I remember somebody, and that's why it hurts so much, because I know, and I'm going to say that I grew up very blessed because I had such a good mother, and I feel so blessed.
A good father too.
Yes, and a good father
Your
too.
Dad.
My dad is
precious man.
Dad's our rock.
Yeah.
He really is. And
He was my rock through high school too. He'd be like, "Are you?" He's like the father of all the children that came to the house, right?
Yeah.
Like checking. Well, he would sit down and check on you.
Yeah.
And make sure, and he'd remember what you told him last time, and ask you about that. And
yeah, Dad is a blessing. I was also blessed with, and you have this too, Theresa, with excellent relationships with your siblings. That it's more than just, we grew up together. Like Jason, Katie, and I were very close in body, mind, spirit. Like we slept together in the same bed until I was probably 16 and was like, okay, you guys need to go. But we just preferred to be together and hold each other. And Jason, even when he was a teenager, would still be like, Jess, can I sleep with you? I had a bad dream or something. But we're very, very close. And it's just the great blessing of my life. And why it hurts so much that he's gone is because he took such good care of Katie and I for the most part.
do you feel like he's gone?
No. Yes and no. His body is.
No.
No.
No. He's very much a part. I see him, and I can see him so much in my sons.
Yeah.
So much.
And Jamie too. Jamie's my son's name.
Sometimes it's really frustrating.
Yeah. You're like, I missed you, but I didn't want to raise you.
Yeah, right. That wasn't the plan.
It wasn't the plan.
Yeah.
No, and I feel him. I feel him here where we are, and I feel him. I feel him when I need him most. Like, what would Jason do? I would say there was probably 10 years or so, because of how crucial he was to my ecosystem of survival and my orbit, that I was a star on the fritz. Like, I did not know how to be in life without him.
And what helped you with that?
Practice.
Practicing what?
Practicing living. Practicing living, and acknowledging that he wasn't totally out of my orbit, but it was really practice. And I will say, especially for those who are in grief, there's those times where you just cried more than you can cry, and you're maybe laying on the floor and you hear a little voice in the back of you that says, okay, you've cried enough, get up. And choosing to live without him. There were times, it's like, and there were times I had to decide that every single day and just practice and try new things and then be aware that he was experiencing it all with me.
Yeah. And what helped you in that process of?
Well, early on, I mean, it was my life.
Yeah, because you had so many.
I had so many things going on, so many moving parts that just functioning and working and being a mom helped. But then it was after the twins were like 2 and they were sleeping through the night and everything's kind of leveled out at like 2, where I could finally sit with it. And that's a lot of the drinking came in, because I would have visions of his last night, replay it in my mind over and over like a movie. Even though I wasn't there, I was there. That was the other thing too, is we're all super intuitively connected, like telepathic. Like we can see each other's thoughts sometimes. And so I started drinking to even try to go to sleep,
To numb
turn
that
off.
to turn it off. Yeah.
turn that movie off.
Yeah. I had a dream. I don't know if I had maybe shared this with you, but I know I shared it with you right after Jason died, where we lived in the forest, and we lived in like a house that was kind of like a hobbit or something, where the door went into the tree, and me and Katie were there, and Jason came to us, and he was not well, and he said, "I just need you to stay up with me through this night and stay up with me until the morning." And we did. And so he came to us at night, and we were just sitting there, and I think we were reading books and like just talking, but he wanted Katie and I to wait up with him until morning. And we did, and then he left. But that was also a healing thing, because I wasn't angry at him for leaving. I was worried about him. I wanted to go to where he was and help him regulate, and help him. And I couldn't, so that dream gave me the opportunity for Katie and I to
Do what we've always done.
Doctor him.
Yeah, doctor him.
Love him. Yeah.
And what do you think where do you think he is now? Do you think he's regulated?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because another thing too is like, I got caught in the loop of the pain, like what the loss was, and I realized that spiritually, that's keeping him stuck in that loop as well. It's not freeing his spirit on the other side. So if he is in a purgatory, I'm putting him there.
That's very wise.
So yeah, I feel like our other brother James came to get him.
Yeah. And they say that, like the researchers that study death say that you're never cross over alone.
No.
And I've had visions since then that the two of them are together.
Me too.
And there was a Christmas, because as Katie said, we grew up Catholic, and I'm still Christian. And I had a dream, because I used to have visions and do journeying and things like that. And I had a tradition for a while. I've fallen out of the practice, but for Christmas, I would go and ask Jesus or God, what is it that you want for your birthday? Like, what present do you want? And one year, the answer I got was, I want your grief. I want you to give me your grief. I don't want you to carry it anymore. I want you to give it to me. And then I was like, why am I holding on to it? Of course. And why is it so hard to give that up? That was many years after Jason died. But then I decided, okay, God has asked me for my grief. I need to let him have it. And that was hard, but good and freeing. And then I'd had visions of how I felt like my family was in not a car accident, like a plane crash. And we were in a plane crash, and we were just walking around the rubble. And that we were just walking around in the rubble of it. And I realized, going back to choice, I realized I had a choice, that I didn't have to stay there and I could walk away from the crash, that Jason was not in the crash.
Right.
That's not where he lived. That's not where he was. And I wasn't honoring him by grieving him. Yeah.
After so long.
After so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then the next big grief was your mom. And let's talk about that a little bit. And that was like a collective, that was in time of great collective loss in general.
Yeah. So, Katie, do you want me to go first? You want
Yeah,
to
I go first.
Okay. It was during COVID. And I will say, this is what I'm going to say about my mom, because she was awesome. She was like, she refused to stay inside her house. She was sick. She had COPD. She was on oxygen. But she was kind of fearless. And she's like, nothing is going to keep me away from my grandkids. Nothing's going to keep me away from living life. I'm going to do all of the things. She went to Florida to be with her sister.
I remember that.
Stuff. Yeah, and she just refused to. And some people thought she was being obstinate. I did not. I thought I was very proud of her, because she's like, I'm going to die anyway.
And thank God she did. You know, she was listening to her. Everyone has their own medicine. And she was truly listening to that by saying, like, you know, maybe she knew she was going to pass soon. And she wanted to go to Florida. And, like, why live in fear? You know, so.
Mom did not live in fear. Not ever, actually. But think of what she endured. COVID was like, she just didn't live in fear. And so.
And she knew that if she went to the hospital, that most likely she would die.
Yeah.
Right?
She did not want to.
Because we had talked about it, like, we were talking, like, every day on text right before this. Because you were, like, asking me about what supplements.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
And then, and we all sort of had I do feel like I wasn't talking to you, like, on the text, but I felt like we all sort of felt like we were at a precipice of, you know, like, one day she would be good, and then the other day it would be tough. And so, I mean, like, let's talk about that a little bit. Like, because she talked to you, like, when she got that IV, because then I had you get her IV, right?
Yeah, and she felt good. But
didn't she fall asleep? Remember, she fell asleep, and then she's like, am I alive?
Yeah. So she had fallen asleep.
Yeah.
She had fallen asleep, and she woke up, and she's like, Jessica? And she was so confused. She was so confused. She's like, Jessica, where am I? Why am I still here? Yeah, she was very confused. So I think she was probably dreaming of heaven or not being here.
Or she might have even gone there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she might have even gone there.
Yeah.
But she
No,
was
like,
truly
not yet.
confused.
It, like,
and,
felt like that,
and
right?
kind of disappointed that she
Yeah,
was.
right. That's what you said.
Yeah, she kind of woke up kind of disappointed, and I'm
That's
like,
literally what you said to me.
yeah, she was disappointed.
Yeah.
And then, and she knew that if she went to the hospital, she was probably going to die. And she actually didn't want to go to the hospital, but she had back pain so bad that she kind of wanted just painkillers to make her, so she could sleep. And she went to the hospital, and yeah, I still remember hugging her and just telling her she'll be home soon, and Dad driving away with her. I think the hardest part for me, and I'll just continue to say that my mom died very well. She died very bravely. When she did get to the hospital, she aspirated on oatmeal, and then she just, like, things just got progressively worse. They got worse, they got worse, they got worse. Dad was able to go and see her, but not for very long.
And thank goodness, because back then they were barely letting anyone in.
They didn't.
A lot of people were dying without anyone.
Mom did die without anyone.
Oh.
But they let her go.
That's right.
They did
that
final
you
rites.
guys were that was a whole process of letting go of that.
Yeah, I'm still kind of angry about it.
Yeah.
But they let a priest come in, and they let Dad go in with the priest when Mom made the decision. but she took off her oxygen because she didn't want to be intubated. She didn't want all the things. And she was very clear about that. But she took off her oxygen, Dad said, and she's like, God, I wish I had done this a long time ago. But she was very brave, and she was very lucid, and she had agency, right? There was power in her agency. She chose it. Mm-hmm. She chose it.
She did. And
she called Katie and I and got to tell us herself and got to say goodbye to us. And so I actually don't have a lot of pain around my mom's passing. And that was a gift from her. I don't. I miss her, of course. But like, I felt like she was empowered and that she showed her own agency and her own strength and chose it and was and didn't resist it. And that's because Mom believed that there's a world beyond this one.
Well,
and
she knew.
She knew.
She knew.
She knew it.
Yeah.
And she had dreams about it. She knew her sons were there. She knew, she knew. And it was like true conviction. She knew where she was going, and she was ready. She was concerned that Katie and I wouldn't be okay and that Dad wouldn't be okay.
Right.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
so many miraculous things have happened to us since she passed.
I mean, she's been such a wonderful guardian angel of a mother.
Yeah.
She's like, you want that? Boom, 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 boom.
And I've had dreams of Mom, and she's doing things on the other side. She's busy, so
she's got a job.
That makes sense.
She's doing a lot of things. Like, she barely had time for me in the dream. She's like,
same thing happened to me, by the way, when I had a vision, and she's like, Jessica, she didn't have time. She was like, I'm glad. Yeah, she was glad to see us, but she was like busy
because she knows you're doing good. You know.
Well, and it took a long time for me to come to the point of she chose it versus they did this to her.
The system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How they treated her like biohazard material.
Yeah, that's a whole nother layer.
Yeah.
And please go into it, actually.
And there's actually a lot of people this is a huge group of people that have experienced that.
And how we were deprived of our sacred divine right to transition our mother to the other side and be with her in that moment. The fact that we were on Zoom, I mean, it just made me sick.
Same.
So it was weird because I felt like I was there with her in her passing, but not physically. So that's where I kind of saw the medicine in the whole thing, is that she went through the system, through that process. Yes, because her body was tired and weary, and it was time. And that was just the method. That was the exit point for her that she chose. But also in choosing that, she showed us and others what it was, what was happening.
The system.
Yeah. And how how powerful our spiritual connection really is. Because they took that away from us. They didn't give us a choice. Yeah. But we still were there. We still lifted her up. We still sent her on her way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if in the moment I was so angry and sad and confused that I didn't know that that's what was going on. And I resisted it and I fought it. But
I am still angry about it. And I'll just say this, we can't let that ever happen to us again as humanity, where we're so scared of something and we lean so hard into science that we lose our humanity.
So we're just giving over our authority to everything else besides ourselves and what we know.
Right. And that we couldn't be there with our mother. And it was particularly hard on Katie's kids.
Yeah.
But I think they also see the medicine in it, and thank you for calling it that, because that is what it is. And ultimately, Mom did have the agency, and she knew. She chose it. She did. She chose it. And I see that even in... I don't know how I'm going to explain this, but even in the darkness that is that hospital where she was treated badly, she was crying. She, like when I had talked to her on the phone, people left her in a room by herself, quarantined. Even though she was on like day 14 of COVID or something, they left her quarantined and wouldn't go in and check on her.
It reminds me of, what was it when we like put everyone in,
Like camps?
no, yeah, like the people, what was it way back when the people that, darn it, what is that where they moved all the sick ones? You guys know, like in Crete and like Egypt and stuff, they would move all the sick ones into these like camps to be sick together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like treat them like just, and it's like, why are we reliving that?
We are.
Why do we have to redo these cycles? Like hopefully many of us woke up to what? Through experience.
Right.
That we, and love, like a deep-rooted love, watching our loved ones, so that we can process and stop that cycle that's happened for thousands of years.
Yeah, and it was kind of like, it's like the vision, the images in your head are like E.T. being quarantined, or like a biohazard thing. They treated her terribly, and every time we would call, they would treat us terribly. They escorted my dad out, security did, because Dad didn't want to leave her, and they made him. But even, and I guess what I want to say in this is that even with all of that, and it goes back to the Columbine example too, even with that darkness and that, like, I'm just going to call it evil, that evil stuff, love wins.
Yeah.
Because Mom had what she needed. She had, Spirit did not abandon her. Her sons were there with her. Our hearts were there with her, lifting her, and she was taken care of in the ways that mattered.
Is this your mom?
Yeah. Hi, Mom.
Well, if we could slow it down so the sound comes out.
Please.
Just a hair.
Just a hair. Just a hair. So you guys both, do you feel like, you both sound like you've really done the work and you feel at peace with both your brothers and your mom, and how they have transitioned to, another realm.
Right.
And what would you tell people out there that are like deeply in grief right now?
Oh boy. That pain is information. Pain is information, and your grief is, actually I wrote this into a card for a girl who just lost her dad, and I said, time does not heal all wounds. It doesn't heal it, but what it will do is your grief will just serve as a reminder of your love. As you get further away, like it'll prick your heart, but not in the same way. Like when it was immediate, it was the end of the world and the grief was too big to hold, and it's like waves crashing in on you. And then you just go through the breath exercise of accepting the reality, releasing your desire for it to not be true. Over and over. And for me, 10 years later of just doing that accept, release, and practicing living life without that person. Eventually, I welcome the little pricks that I get of grief now when I think with Jason and with my mom. And I can still smell them sometimes. I feel like literally, like I can feel my mom's hands holding mine. Like I physically can feel it. The thing is it's both it's both sadness and joy. But that's where I am now in acceptance, is that I actually welcome the little pangs of grief that come up, and a song that reminds me of them, or just missing them, that they were real, that I was loved by them.
I mean, they are real.
Yeah.
And you are loved by them.
And I am loved by them.
And
I
know
get
you
to love,
I know you believe that greatly,
Yes.
so that's the only reason why.
Yeah, you changed that for me.
That's all.
She's right.
Yeah.
They are real. I am loved by them, and I get to love it, and especially with my mom who, birthed me, I get to love because of her. I get to be here to pass that on to others to lifetimes, right?
Right.
But what would you say, Katie?
That was just a hummingbird.
Oh, that was Mom.
I hear it.
Yeah.
I would say that grief is one of the greatest portals of life. It's one of the greatest. And it could put you into a place like in What Dreams May Come, where the mother goes. I was in that place for a long time. You can press pause and sit there for as long as you want to. There's no rules. It's all individual. And it's going to come in waves. Like Jessica said, that is the truth. It comes in waves. And each version of you is going to alchemize it in a different way. And you can't get from this version to that version. You can't bypass it. You can't bypass grief. You have to move through it. Because it's always going to be there waiting for you otherwise. And it'll come up in catastrophic ways, which sometimes is the medicine you need.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes that's the medicine you need. But if you're not moving through, that's where I think all sorts of disease and all the things happen and all the,
If things just sit and they don't move.
Because we're here to move it through, learn and move on. Let it go. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
Mine too. And if you don't, like I said, and we didn't even go there, but your body will break down. Your body will force you to
Stop.
To acknowledge it. And like Katie said, it's always there waiting for you. So you have to confront it and work through it. And it doesn't have to be that difficult. It's probably your fear of confronting it is worse than the actual confronting.
Like everything.
Yeah.
And they say disease starts in your energy field, right? And so I think that's exactly what we're saying is like, if you don't want to do the work, then it moves in and closer and then moves to your body.
It's going to
I relate to that.
Yeah.
I relate to it so much.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for that.
You're welcome.
Sharing that with us. And I think I am actually going to wrap this up, even though we could seriously do this for like all day. No joke. No joke, right? We could just go on and on. But I want to talk about what do you think, and I sort of know, but we'll ask this. What do you think remains true about our relationship after all these years?
I think we see each other and we are seen by each other.
I agree.
Yeah.
And acceptance of each other. And also just, like, I love watching you women. And the way you do life in your own unique ways. It's just like, I feel like God watching his children. And I'm just like, yes! And I feel like you guys feel that way about me too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it's the same. Like I always every time we connect and our frequencies connect, it feels like going home, right? Because it's just completely authentic. Like you guys, I'll just be my authentically odd self. And you're just like, yes, that's
what we came here for.
Like, keep it up.
There's something nurturing about it too, or maybe that's nourishment. Our friendship is nourishment to me. I will walk away from this conversation like floating because I to be in real sisterhood and authenticity with women in their power who aren't competing with one another, who really just want the best for each other. And then I think, man, I want all the women and men in the world to experience what this is like, because it's truly empowering, and it's not, and there's nothing limited about it. And I feel so nourished when I walk away. It's like eating a good meal or something. Yeah.
And all these years, that's never changed.
No.
No, Theresa and I can get on the phone with each other, and Katie and I too, and after hello, we're right back in it.
Yeah. It's like, that's it. Sometimes we skip hello. To be honest. So I guess we'll finish this with each of you sort of offering a little bit of medicine.
You go first this time.
I just want, what I've come to know about myself and people is that I just want everyone to see themselves as just so amazing that they are, that they don't need anything else. After being around so many addicts and things, those are some of the most incredible people in the entire world, and they think that's the lowest of people. But they have the unique opportunity. Don't be afraid of bad things happening, because you should be excited about it, because that means that your life is about to jump up to the next level of greatness. I mean, sometimes it takes a while, but there's so much magic in every single person. And if we see each other the way that God sees us, and see ourselves that way, then we wouldn't let anybody have power over us.
Even the runner.
Especially the runner.
Is that timing?
That's perfect.
All right.
And that you are powerful, okay? Even you.
We're going to put that all together here. There's going to be a reason for that. I just know.
Yeah.
Okay.
The medicine I have. Yeah, that you're enough. You're enough. And pain and joy are in the same cup. There's always good. There's this alchemy, and I guess it took me a minute to get to this, but you know that there's people in life who, like, everything's outside, everything looks great. They don't really want for anything. They're not suffering. And actually, there's a lot of people in the United States are kind of there. We got, like, materially, we're all taken care of. There's not much going wrong. And those people can still find things to complain about. And when I say those people, I mean myself too. You can still find things to complain about, and how it's not good, and I'm sad, and I don't have everything I want, and then there are those who can take darkness and convert it into joy. And actually, when I was in Jamaica, like, Jamaicans can do this. Like, they've been, generational trauma and all kinds of things, but they're some of the most joyful people I've ever met. And we all have that capacity within us. And I will say that through all my trials and all my victories, I think the thing I'm most proud of with myself, with my sister, maybe with you too, is that I think we're alchemists in the most positive direction, where we can take the darkness and turn it into light, even if it takes a while. And that comes from gratitude, really. I'm grateful, even if all you can say is, I'm grateful for this breath. I'm grateful for this breath. I'm grateful for this breath. I'm grateful for the pain. I'm grateful that I can feel the pain. I'm grateful that for my friendships, and I think if there's a basic practice that anyone can do that I think has the ability to change your life and alchemize, going to Katie's word, create that gold from anything, I think it's gratitude and being grateful for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm grateful for you too.
I'm grateful.
I'm so thankful. And I hope that everyone who's listening has, or you can find people in your life that feel like going home and help you remember who you are. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.